Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
Me hearties, and welcome once again to Full Stream Ahead. I be your captain, Charlie, the Professor Esser, and with me as always is me skinny rich friend and first mate.
It's Mozz.
Mozz, welcome aboard. In a world of capes and lunatics, gods and monsters, there are those that try to defend what little they have, even if it means riding on a Vespa. This is the Book of Boba Fett, and this is the Streets of Mos Espa. Chapter 3. Boba Fett must deal with two very different threats. Robert Rodriguez is our director. Jon Favreau, of course, gets our... What did he do on this? 1 second. Scroll too fast. Jon Favreau gets the written by on this, so blame Jon Favreau. Also has the created by. Based on Star Wars by George Lucas, our hardest working person in show business this week is staff writer Noah Clore, trying to make this all make sense. So we open up this episode. And I'm trying to remember, are we opening this up with Mr. Root, our moisture broker. Not even a moisture farmer. Not a farmer. He buys the moisture and he sells it for profit. He's just a middleman.
Hey, you, Mr. Farmer, do you have the wherewithal to go talk to these people and sell your product and negotiate good pricing as well as maintaining your farm? Come on.
I mean, that's the argument, but then again, I got to feel like on the weekends in Mos Espa, there's a nice moisture farmers market where, like, real moisture fresh from the dune sea. Hey,
that's welcome to you. If you don't value your Saturdays, go ahead.
Yeah, well,
you want to be ending farm Monday through Friday, and then Saturday go sell your product, and then Sunday rest your feet. I mean, sure.
I mean, you make a good point. That is why the middlemen exist. All hail the middlemen. And Stephen Root is a fantastic middleman. He's come a long way since someone stole his red stapler. But he's still about people stealing stuff from him.
He's still ready to burn it down. He's still ready to burn it down.
He is very much so. It is, and of course he approaches Boba and is very much trying to manipulate Boba, which, when you're Stephen Root, I don't think this is a good plan. On no level was this, when you're trying to manipulate Boba and Fennec Shand to do your dirty work.
Right.
Because there's a gang of teenagers that are stealing your moisture.
Perhaps,
I mean, really.
That's how every other daimyo before him needed to be handled.
Well, like I said, I get the feeling this guy thinks that Boba's just off the turnip truck. Like, I don't think he would have come to Bib Fortuna.
Well, no, I think it's the other way around. I think he came to him because that's how he's used to dealing with Bib Fortuna. And so he says, no, I'll just come in and do it. And this is how business is done. I'll come in and ply him the same way I do. And now he realized, wait a second, I got somebody a bit more adept than this Bib Fortuna guy. Okay. He learned his lesson, a valuable one, but I think it'll serve him well moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to disagree. I think he was totally thinking that he could steamroll Boba into doing his bidding because, again, here's the thing. People are stealing your water. Maybe you should use some of the exorbitant prices that you're charging for this water to hire muscle, you know?
He should have done what Boba did. He's like, oh, exactly. Wait a second, guys. Okay, why don't I give you work? Now you won't rob me, and so will nobody else.
Yeah, exactly. And it is just that kind of an idea there of, you know, he's expecting law enforcement in Mos Espa, which, you know, in the Outer Rim, probably, and a city like Mos Espa that is run by various clandestine organizations, is not something that's going to happen. And at the end of the day, he is gouging on the moisture prices.
But he's also paying protection and homage, or what's the term? Tribute to the daimyo as well, and that's what that tribute.
But is he though?
I mean, that's the conversation they have with the what's the other the fish-looking people.
Yeah, the Pikes or the
Pikes. That's the conversation he has with the Pikes. He's like, "Hey, are you ready to pay your protection?" He's like, "Well, I'm not going to pay protection for land I've already paid protection for." Right. So go talk to them. So that's exactly the conversation he's having with them. And I think that's the understanding that the business owner walks in with.
Yeah. But I think because this is something that we got, I think, did we get it this episode or is it?
What?
Because we actually got it last episode where how that the workers' district is under, I believe they're called the Aqualines. So since this is the workers' district, obviously whoever is supposed to be enforcing this, it's not Boba Fett. And really what it probably is he is a guy who has been, you know, he's been paying his protection, but they also know that he's not kicking up as much as he should. He is not using the resources he has well for either the folks that have seized control of the workers' district, or the workers themselves. Because as they point out, it's the workers' district. There's no work, you know, and that's the real thing here. And I think, this is the real crux of a lot of the complaints about this episode is we got these young street toughs with their cybernetic implants. And of course, interesting that, Stephen Root is, I forget the merchant's name, but we're just going to call him Stephen Root. That, you know, he's complaining about how they're cyborgs. When, you know, a lot of people in the Star Wars universe are cyborgs, including Fennec Shand, who is looking at him when he says that, you know. But, so here's this idea with essentially teen punk culture. And, you know, and again, this is, as I say, Mos Espa. This is essentially New York City. This is London of Tatooine, is what they're trying to convince us. And honestly, I couldn't tell it from Mos Eisley, but it's pretty clear that Mos Eisley is like, oh, well, you don't like it. Why don't you go broker your moisture in Mos Eisley, you know? So, there's kind of clearly a derision towards, you know, oh wow, I guess
New Jersey.
I guess you just want to go to Mos Eisley. Yeah, exactly. You know.
Although New Jersey's amazing, right?
I love Jersey. That's why
Jersey's amazing. It gets
it's beautiful,
but it is also fun to make fun of.
But anyway, so what you have here, and this is this idea that you probably have some degree of generational poverty, and hardscrabble existence. And in these situations, people that are in that situation often try to find what is the one nice thing I can have. Mm-hmm. And they're going to trick it out, and they're going to make that aesthetic their thing. because they're not going to get, they're not going to get speeder bikes. They're not even going to get land speeders.
I dig that. But for what it's worth, like it really made me not appreciate the coolness of these characters at all. They immediately became like dweebs to me. I could not take them seriously. They're riding around in little like toy, shiny, like red wagons. Like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody should have seen that coming and say, okay, aesthetically, this just doesn't fit for what we want people to feel about these characters. I thought the episode was great overall. I had no issues with it except for that one scene. And even that one scene, the only problem I had with it was how fast they were moving and the silliness of what their cars look like. Replace those two things, make them go faster, and the episode was beautiful. But just that one scene I just thought was so jarring and weird and out of place.
And again, I think it's the kind of thing that I think if you were more into the 60s mod culture, which is what people have pointed out that's the aesthetic that
I know, but they needed to point it out for me to know it. The vast majority of people are not going to be able to put that together or associate any level of coolness with it. It just came off as looking like, the shoppers of Walmart, that meme page that shows you all these...
Well, I mean, like to me, I took it as these bright, vibrant 50s colors. The idea of
really dumb to me. It looked really dumb.
Okay,
and then on top of that, to make them go so slow and then like
I don't think they were going slow. I don't think they were going slow. I think that's the thing. I don't think they were ever really going slow.
They were going slow, but they were acting like they were going so fast.
If you watch Fast and the Furious,
how slow they were going, because they were trying to tell me, "Oh, look at me, I'm going fast." It's like, well, don't tell me. Show me you're going fast. It's like, oh.
Well, no, but you can't do that if you don't have a straight line to go in. You can't go fast.
Yeah, but you can,
and that's the thing.
Cut like not so sharp turns and have like really wide and like do some damage or something. Make it more interesting.
They did a lot of damage. That's the thing. It's like I think I hear what you're saying, but I also think that maybe you're judging it more harshly because you've been fed nitro boosted, drag races and Fast and the Furious, and you're not.
If you were going to make it slower, at least make it look cooler. I'm just saying that scene did not succeed in maintaining the suspension of disbelief. I was completely pulled out because I had to look over at me and be like, "Oh, did you see that?" Oh, I had to make an aside comment and then I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I had to like wait till that scene was over and then refine that feeling to connect with these characters again because I just didn't want to look at them. It was like, "Oh, look away." It was that cringy.
Look away, look away.
Yeah. It's like when Kramer comes out from like his apartment that he's been filling with smoke for a week and he goes, "Look away. I'm hideous."
Yes, exactly. Well, as he said, he was fine with lung cancer and emphysema, but no one said it would ruin his face.
This is how I make my money.
Exactly. Which is true for Kramer if you're, he's kind of a guy who gets by on his charisma. So,
yep.
Anyway, getting beyond this moment, I do find it interesting to ask where is the mayor in all this, because we do have them going to the mayor's office, which is the impetus in this, and it basically that's what leads to this low speed car chase.
To me, it signals that the mayor has put the signal out. Everybody man their battle stations. He's at his location, his command center. Stuff's about to go down, and he knows it, and he's getting himself prepared. That's what it felt like to me.
I think he's in a I wouldn't go command center. I'd say bunker, but
whatever.
He's got his canned moisture and his canned air. He's waiting for whatever the Pikes are going to do. And we get a black. I know it's not black chrysanthemum, but it's black crush. The big Wookiee.
BK. I've heard people call him BK, and that's way easier. And honestly, sounds way more like B.A. Baracus. So I'm with that. It fits his character a bit more than Chrysanthemum or what. I don't know.
Yeah, Black Chrysanthus is what his name is. Anyway, but he interrupts that poor Bacta dream. So which is not a nice dream, by the way. It's a rough one because that's where Boba rides out triumphant after destroying the train and, taking everything in these things. He's going to bring all this wealth back to. It's kind of. Did you ever read The Black Pearl in high school?
No.
Oh, it's a John Steinbeck story. It's about pearl divers and this one diver who finds like this beautiful black pearl, and he just feels like this is going to change everything. And of course, I'm sure as you know, pearl divers, they live this hardscrabble existence. They're usually, the people of the area, and the wealthy colonizers come in and they always are cheating them on what the value of the pearls they're bringing up in are. And, anyway, and basically
they have a Stephen Root problem.
Yeah, they have a Stephen Root problem. And, effectively, but anyway, so it just reminds me a bit of the Black Pearl here, and this idea that I feel like Boba is riding out thinking he is gonna be the hero. He's bringing back the money. Everyone's gonna benefit from this. And when he gets out there, they say, dude, yeah, you took out our train and we don't like that, but we're already paying the biker gang. The speeder bikes, that Mozz thinks move fast and thinks is really cool. Mozz says the speeder bikes are cool. And we're already paying protection to them. We're not going to pay it twice because we don't know that you can even hold this land. Because quite frankly, before you showed up, we were picking you guys off as we rode through,
And after, what we find out towards the end, it seems like they were in on the plan. They were just like, okay, the mayor told them when this guy shows up, tell him somebody else is already paying protection, then he's going to go look for that. It was all like he's just walking into their path that they've laid out for him so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not sure how it's going to play out. I mean, obviously, there was that question, was it really the biker gang that killed the Tuscans? To be fair, I would not put it past the biker gang, because obviously I'm assuming it's more than just the 5 guys that he beat up to steal the bikes from. I'm going to wager that it's a much more, it's sort of like, it's, when you go up against the Hells Angels or any of the other groups of outlaw bikers, there's an outlaw biker gang that controls transit in this area. So, that, because we even see they're wearing colors, and that they're wearing colors tells you maybe it's not just this one gang. That when he beat up that gang and stole their bikes, they got buddies, they got friends. And when they feel that now for whatever reason, these Tuscans are trying to muscle in on their, just like outlaws of old, they're going to go ride in and take out the natives, which is not good. It's horrifying and sad.
Yeah, and then from that perspective, it gives you a different perspective to look at, like, oh, look at Boba. He's showing these people all these new ways. How were they that dumb for not adopting these new ways? And then you realize, okay, you know what? They maybe recognized the third rail. And maybe we shouldn't touch that. I know it's bright and shiny and it makes all these cool sparks when you use it, but maybe we shouldn't touch it ourselves, Yeah.
Well, it's that question of what exactly, it's your basic Native American question. It's like, do we go along and get pushed further and further in, or do we fight and bring the wrath of, the empire down upon us because we're upsetting the apple cart? And that is and it ends poor. And honestly, it is the saddest thing when he's going through the funeral ceremony and you see him take the little kid stick, which is a great, tie back to Anakin. And, so I killed them all, not just the men, but the women and the children. And this is what happens is that, some crazed Jedi or biker gang or stormtroopers come in and just decimate you because they can. And it is not cool. But anyway, moving on from there. What do you think of the fight with the Wookiee?
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. You really felt like, oh man, he's without any of his weapons. He's without any of his armor. He's really, really vulnerable. But he held his own, and it took everybody to subdue him.
Oh yeah,
I did appreciate the courage with which the teenage gang attempted to fight this gigantic beast of a scary monster. But they like really enjoy the work. That's what I got out of that moment. They were really like, we get to be, and so that they won me over in that moment. I was like, look at these guys go. They really enjoy their work. That's really awesome.
Well, yeah, and I do think that is the point of it, that they are, I'm not going to say that they're professionals, because they're not, but they are. Right. They are a gang of toughs. Yeah.
And they're honest about their toughness, right? They're genuinely tough, right? They're not just like putting on a front. They really are who they say they, or who they want to be. In a moment that found themselves having to find out who they are, they found out that they were who they thought they were. So that was, I thought, a really, really cool moment.
Yeah. And that is good. And I like that. I was actually waiting for them to actually, have the, because they dropped the Wookiee in the Rancor pit. It's like, well, I guess we got a Wookiee pit now.
Yeah. I'm sure if we don't feed him enough, he'll want to kill whatever we throw down there, right?
Yes. Well, to be fair, that's what Chewie was doing back in the day. He was in the, when Han throws him in.
I will say, the squealing bebops, that made me laugh. And but not in a bad, like, I didn't mind it. It made me laugh, but it felt like it belonged. I appreciate it. I thought that was good. I like that.
I like that. And again, it's this idea of loyalty, that he is commanding loyalty from these people.
Yeah.
And he is commanding, in fact, one of the best parts of this scene is when he says, to the, I always want to call them orcs. Because
I call them
really orcs from D&D. Yeah, it's, you're younger than me. So you remember Bebop. I remember the orcs from D&D and the cartoon D&D. Because they came out at the same time. They were very much influenced by the same Marvel D&D design.
I'm sure.
Of the orcs. And, but I like the fact that we're getting so much more of these characters, of these beings that were just cannon fodder before. And now it's like, it's like,
now they get to heal in a Bacta tank.
Well, yeah. And for what it's worth, that's like, he's like saying, put him in my Bacta tank. He got bit by a Wookiee. Although actually, I think Boba got bit by a Wookiee too.
Right.
In fact, I remember telling Tris at the time, like, oh no, he got bit by a Wookiee. Now he's going to turn into a Wookiee.
A were-Wookiee?
A were-Wookiee. Yeah.
Hey, maybe he'll grow his hair back.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
Once a month he has hair.
Yeah. What I
2, 1.
And so for me, the whole thing with when Boa puts his orc guard, his Bebop guard, in the Bacta tank, this was him making clear, we are a family. Which is really what this always goes back to when you break it down as you go through it, is this idea that, earlier in the previous episodes, they say, running a family is a lot more complex than being a bounty hunter. And the actual point is, he knows how to run a family. He knows how to be a family, and you can say because he was with the Tuskens, but I think it's actually more than that. I think basically being with the Tuskens just reminded him of what it was like to be part of the clones and part of that family and part of being a Mandalorian and the Mandalorian chain code and everything that they held dear within their life and times. And in that sense, I feel like it was his returning to his roots, in that sense, that his time with the Tuskens is less about, the outworlder learning the primitive ways and more about the outward world of reconnecting with the universal truths of these ways. This is something that gets brought up sometimes about how, Tuskens don't have don't speak of the Force, but the Force still flows through them because they are part of the Force. The Force is through all things. And in that flow of the Force, everyone is connected within the universe. And that is what the Tuskens understand, and what I think Boba has understood as well, is this connection of all of us. And of course,
what that taught him was like the power of the collective is huge, but the power of the collective only works if the individual bonds are really strong. That's the way that you build a powerful collective. So those individual bonds are really important to pay attention to if you want to have any hope of a broad-reaching family, so to speak.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of family, yes, I do remember. I think that is where we left it off, was with the twins coming back and basically, we decided we don't want your stupid plan today. So, the Pikes are coming. If you want to go fight the Pikes for some reason, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but we're going to go back to Hutta and, go dip our butts in chocolate.
That guy, yeah, don't tell anybody he came from us. Do what you want with him, but yeah, he didn't come from us. Oh, and by the way, take this off our hands too. Can I leave my garbage here? What was their intention with leaving the Rancor? Because I feel like they don't have any good purposes, but why would they give them the Rancor? And why would they not want Black Chrysanthus back?
Well, they don't want Black Chrysanthus back. Well, there's like two levels to this. So, there's lots of ways you can read it. One is they're giving a gift to indebt Boba to them. It's lovely Rancor. Remember when we gave that to you? And same with Black Chrysanthus, what it's worth, failed. And it would serve them no purpose to bring their failed assassin back with them. So effectively, Black Chrysanthus, it's like, yeah, he's totally devalued.
Right.
There's no value to him.
But is that Rancor a Trojan horse? And if so, what's the plot?
I don't think it's a Trojan horse so much as it is.
Oh, it is a real gesture, you think?
Well, it's a gesture of ingratiation.
Fair enough.
Here's the thing. Although Hutts are mighty, that's the thing. I really want to see someone actually throw down with a Hutt at some point and actually realize that, oh my gosh, Hutts are just like these gigantic, like the Kingpin. They're just these masses of muscle and teeth.
Kind of like in Dune, if you read the further books, the God Emperor turns into like a half man, half worm thing that's super, super powerful. So I could see that sort of the Hutts being really, really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, just the idea that the Hutts, when you look at the size of a Hutt's mouth, and you realize most sentient races could fit in their mouth easily. And yeah, they don't walk around a lot, but if you ever got them on the ground, they can move around, as we saw in the re-edits where we actually show Jabba just wandering around, talking and doing his whole thing. And you get this idea of, oh my gosh, this species can move. They do move when they feel like it. And when they do move, they are actually an incredibly powerful force. And this idea that, the fact that you can bite people in half easily, that is the kind of thing that's going to make you a feared race of beings.
Yeah.
They're basically sentient crate dragons, they can be scary, and I would love to see more in why the Hutts are so powerful. But I get the feeling that it's like, because if they just had resources but couldn't defend them, they wouldn't be powerful.
Right.
It's the fact that they have resources, could defend them, built up their power bases, and then expanded throughout the universe or the galaxy. Because as we must always remember, this is so long, long ago in a galaxy far, far away.
I love that they have like a gravity suspended platform to bring the Rancor in, but for their own purposes, to carry them around, they have real people carrying them around.
It's more you want that human touch.
Yeah.
And as I've always said, it's the power move.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, no, we could totally do that. We could totally float, but you know what? We actually have people who carry us.
Right. And the implication being, if I wanted to, I could, what's the word? Conscript you to be one of my carriers at any moment. Avert your eyes, because if I do notice you, there's a chance I could bring you into the fold. Like, that guy. No, I want him carried. And they can do that if they wanted to.
Well, I mean, within reason. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's like, it is this idea that they have people that they just, that and to be fair, I don't know. Maybe the litter bearers have dental. Maybe it's a good union gig.
I bet you they have, like, every planet they go to, they find people of that planet to carry them, just to send a message. Like, if they go to this planet, they have, the people that live over there, get 8 of them to carry you, just to send a message.
Yeah, it's a day job. You get enough of them, and maybe there's a gravity assist in there too. It's the spirit. You want people to know you can afford a litter. That's the idea.
Right.
I love and of course, because it's the 2 huts, the twins, which is just. I'm waiting for that to be revealed. They're conjoined, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go that far. But
what do all huts look like to you?
Well, one's clearly a female, but
oh, you can tell that.
Well, they said.
No, I'm kidding. I know they tell us that, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know what secondary hut gender sex types
fair
are.
Enough. Fair enough.
Well, and that's always, as I've always said with Leia, it's like, why would a hut be interested in mammalian secondary sex characteristics? It's like he puts her in a bikini because, I don't know, that seems to be what what the apes like. So there you go. Right. I'm told this is humiliating in your culture. You're humiliating.
But that's how you dress up an ape, right?
Exactly.
That's how you like it when you buy a car or something. You got to get it buffed and shined, whatever. This is what you do with one of these. in all the books and all the stories I've read, this is what they dress them like. So look at what I got. I have
Yeah, and that there was someone that would come to kill him. That's just that coup de grace. Because again, like you said, you know what? I noticed you. Now you're in a bad situation.
Yeah. Yep.
No one invited you. You could have stayed home and none of this would have happened. But
exactly.
You came here.
Yeah.
You came to my house to cause problems in my house. And I don't know why you guys do that. Yeah, my honest feeling is that Jabba the Hutt has been done dirty by all of history. It's like he's selling arms to the rebels. He's helping out the rebellion left and right. Han screwed him over. And what's he supposed to do? Just not? He could have had Han disintegrated. No, he freezes him in carbonite. He'll be fine. 50, 60 years later, we'll let him out of the carbonite. And there we go. Okay, you had your time. It was fun. Go forth and see no more. Yeah, exactly. It's like there wasn't a whole. There was no bad blood. He liked Han. Han was great. Han was one of his best people. And so he still isn't going to kill him. He's just going to hang him on his wall for 50 years. Huts live a long time usually. People don't go strangling them with gold chains. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's about all we have to say about.
Yeah. Was there anything else that we might have missed?
I mean, you know what? Here's what I'll tell you. If there's anything we missed, people can always write to us at capesandlunatics@gmail.com. That's capes and lunatics, all one word, at gmail.com. Or even call us if your passion is so great. Call us right now and say, "You fools! How could you have forgotten this point? And how could you say forgotten when the word is forgotten?" And you can call us at 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And leave that voicemail, and we will play it on the air next time. Likewise, why don't you guys go over to Linktree? That's linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. There you will find links to all of our merch as well as our Patreon, where you can contribute to help vote for the worst superhero film of all time. Will it be Matt Sellinger's Captain America? Will it be Superman 4? Will it be Puma Man? Puma Man's in the running, kids, so you could help make all of that a possibility if you contribute funds to the Patreon, because we are on our own here. That's lanktr.ee/Capes from Lunatics, or just buy a t-shirt. That's always nice too. And finally, Mozz, if they would like to reach out to you directly, just personally say, Mozz, I don't want to, this isn't for everybody but you. I got to tell you, you're cute, because we're watching you, and you clearly are his handsome, skinny, rich friend. How can they speak with you about that?
They can email me at mozzmanzor@gmail.com or find me on Facebook under Mozz Manzor. That's MOZZMANZOOR.
And, of course, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, where mothers and fathers once did, through the genetic blockchain of Boba Fett, you can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet Naomi Tuesday nights at 9 on the CW. I have a theory, and you're gonna have to watch it. We'll talk about it a bit on Capes and Lunatics later and some other stuff, but yeah, I figured out their game, and it's gonna get wild, because it all goes to who's this Superman character everyone keeps talking about. You can follow me on Twitter at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle. For what?
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Mozz. All right, you filthy landlubbers, you scurvy dogs of the Dune Sea. Thanks for streaming with us once again. Come back next week as we once again sail full stream ahead. Arrgh.